היא השמדת מדינת ישראל. ואני אומר לכם,
Israel struck Gaza with significant attacks on Monday, while IDF soldiers fought Hamas forces in the besieged territory. Israeli army spokesman Jonathan Conricus told a briefing on Monday that we will carry the fight against Hamas wherever it is, above ground or underground, and reiterated his call for civilians to leave the urban war zone in the northern Gaza Strip. As Unique Eyes team, we have compiled all the developments for you. Netanyahu said Israel will have indefinite control over the security of Gaza. Late last night, the Israeli army had entered Gaza with a large support convoy. The convoy was deployed in the secured area, and thermal cameras and tunnels and buildings where Hamas militants were located were detected one by one. Israel's extensive preparations are currently underway. Netanyahu has been emphasizing that things will be substantially different after Gaza is resolved. The Israeli government has been working very hard. The Israeli Defense Ministry is getting ready for the war's second month. The Defense Ministry's workforce has been called into action, and they are working non-stop to meet the needs of those who were evacuated from almost 100 communities in the north and vicinity of Gaza during the conflict, repair border areas, and obtain defense supplies, ammunition, and shelters. The ministry is responsible for a wide range of tasks. The ministry reported that ships and freight planes carried more than 3,000 tons of military hardware to Israel. 5 ships and 100 cargo trips were conducted by cargo aircraft. These spacecraft carried systems, equipment, and soldier-use ceramic plates. The Defense Ministry's overarching objective is to support the civilian war effort while giving the Israel Defense Forces and security forces breathing room and functional continuity. At home, the priority is to obtain what Israeli industries have to offer. Amidst all of this planning, Israel delivered a severe blow to Hamas. These are the specifics of the assault. According to the Israel Defense Forces, soldiers and Hamas fighters performing hit-and-run attacks from tunnels engaged in close-quarters fighting. 4 of the schools that were used as shelters, according to the UN, suffered damage in less than a day. The UN issued a warning at the same time about growing water shortages. More than 9,000 Palestinians have died, according to the health ministry headed by Hamas, but Israel does not believe any of the information that Hamas has made public. According to UNOI, a minor died in a shelter at the beach refugee camp that was turned into a school, while at least 20 others perished in a classroom in the Jabalia refugee camp. Reports are confirmed by media sources. A vivid video from a primary school in the Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza depicts the events that transpired in the main courtyard and then outside the school's main gate. There are at least 20 dead or injured people on the ground. The second video, which was taken in the main courtyard of a primary school at the beach refugee camp, which is located near the Mediterranean shore but also to the north of Gaza, sparked a media uproar. This was due to the fact that it provided proof of the horrors that had occurred there, for which Gaza's Hamas officials claimed Israeli airstrikes were to blame. As usual, the Israel Defense Forces have not yet provided a statement. Time is running out for the Palestinians in Gaza, who are in grave danger of being wiped out, according to experts chosen by the UN. A humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza has been demanded by the UN. A disastrous tipping point has been reached in the Gaza scenario. There is limited availability of clean drinking water in Gaza due to restrictions on fuel entering the region and a reduction in water supply. That such a human catastrophe is occurring in our century is a shame for all of us. Human life depends on water, and 2 million Gazans currently face difficulties obtaining clean drinking water. Israel's delegation to the UN in Geneva said that all of the fatalities were the result of Hamas. The Israel Defense Forces reported earlier in the day that they had eliminated some 130 Hamas fighters. According to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the soldiers were fighting at full strength. Netanyahu declared, "We have crossed the outskirts of Gaza City and achieved impressive achievements. We're moving forward." President Biden stated that a significant number of foreign nationals were able to exit Gaza following the opening of the Rafah border crossing with Egypt for a second day. Among them were around 70 Americans, but according to the medical nonprofit Doctors Without Borders, over 20,000 injured people are still stranded in the region. In the meantime, the Hezbollah organization in Lebanon declared that it was launching simultaneous attacks against 19 sites in Israel, claiming that this would be the group's most powerful assault on the country yet. The Israeli army retaliated by hitting several Hezbollah locations in Lebanon. This occurs the day before Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, is scheduled to give a much-awaited speech. However, Israel has a lot of smaller defense industries, in addition to its three main defense companies, Elbit Systems and Rafael. There are other factors as well, like buying vegetables and uniforms from Israeli businesses. The total cost of this project is in the billions of shekels. The United States is considering providing Israel with roughly $10 billion in financial aid throughout the conflict. The ministry has so far disclosed a budget of 3 billion new Israeli shekels, enough to support 57,000 jobs across 651 factories. It has been established that 8,500 vehicles, 4,000 buses, 2,000 trucks, and other mobile vehicles have all been fully paid for. In border villages like those that Hamas attacked near Gaza, repairs are being carried out by construction companies as well. Moreover, the provision of defense shelters and other areas is mandatory. Furthermore, the ministry is getting ready for the 31st remembrance of the martyrs. Among the dead are 394 members of the security forces, including 58 police officers and Shin Bet agents who were slain during the fighting. Many of these men were declared inactive on October 7. We attended dozens of funerals every week during the first week, and it took some time to bury them all. The number of deaths is so great that 146 distinct cemeteries contain the tombs of the martyrs. Furthermore, 712 Israel Defense Forces troops have had their official status disabled due to injuries received. On the first day of treatment, thousands of people were injured during the October 7 Hamas massacre. While several people were released from the hospital, a large number of patients with serious injuries remained there. In addition, there are currently 125,000 individuals being housed in 359 hotels and guest houses across approximately 100 different sites, among which include the cities of Sderot and Kiryat Shmona. These people were forced to flee their homes for a variety of reasons. Israel has repeatedly brought up the ultimate objective of this fight, which is to emerge victorious. However, the current objective, which consists of preparing the economy for some form of all-out conflict, is a significant one. As a result of the State of Israel and the Zionist movement working together to achieve these objectives throughout the course of the preceding century, Israel presently possesses a sizable military industry as well as the domestic ability to maintain it. The officials insist that the ministry is accessible at all times, which means around the clock. At this time, Israel is making investments in highly sophisticated military equipment. In this, both artificial intelligence and the most recent and cutting-edge technology are utilized. In addition to making investments in more anti-drone hardware, Israel has already begun investing in further unmanned systems such as robots, drones, and a variety of other types of technology that can assist in the formation of drone swarms and make use of artificial intelligence. The ministry's actions show how capable and quick the country can become in terms of shifting its economy to one that is war-focused. However, a prolonged battle will bring various obstacles, such as the requirement to call up a significant number of reservists and the necessity of compelling a large number of citizens to abandon their borders. These are just two of the many challenges that will be presented. In addition, there is no strategy that can avoid encountering obstacles the moment it comes into contact with the adversary. The strategies that have been developed over the course of the past few decades have a learning curve associated with them, and Israel is unable to communicate with its adversary. I appreciate your careful consideration.